Hello, and thanks for coming along to And We Have an Office Dog, the digital agency podcast where we're talking to the people behind the agency, the service providers, coaches, and mentors to discuss what it's like working with you, the agency leader. With your host, Chris Simmons, the Agency Accelerator, talking to a different agency growth partner in each episode. What they love about working with you, what they wish you knew. All will be revealed. Okay, so let us begin. Over to you, Chris.
Thanks, voiceover guy. And on the podcast, I've got Andy from Keyword Insights. How you doing, Andy?
Yeah, very good, Chris. Nice to be here again, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you?
I mean, a couple of hats. This is the major hat. This is the real hat. What's your role? Is it CEO, Keyword Insights?
Yeah, we were about to put out a little announcement. I've officially taken on that role now.
Real hat.
Yeah, I think it was more of a coin flip between me and Sagantha. No, it was we decided that I was better placed in I guess the vision and where it's going, and Sagantha's better placed at just getting an awesome product out. And Nicola's obviously in a better place to make sure all the code works. So I've taken on that role officially. We were about to release a thing on that actually. So yeah, I guess that's the title now.
Well, the good thing is when this goes live, that announcement will be several weeks old. So hopefully everyone's going, oh, we already knew that, Andy, and we expected to hear this. But in every business, whether it's an agency or anything that has a long-term view, you need a visionary and you need an implementer. So that makes a lot of sense given what I know about the both of you. So for those uninitiated, for those who've been under a rock on Twitter, never been on the internet, but run an agency for some reason. Who are you, Andy? What do you do?
So CEO of Keyword Insights. I have been in SEO or digital marketing for 10 years. I went from agency side to freelancer. I then went from freelancer to running a very boutique agency with my business partner, Saganthan. And then to be able to scale, we started developing our own internal tools, and then we started leasing those tools to other agencies, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then we realized, actually, why not just make these tools into something proper? And so we started developing the tools to be public facing, starting with Keyword Insights. We actually do have 4 or 5 tools. We planned on releasing one a year, and then we didn't realize just how much effort a SaaS business, it's unrelenting. So we've only released Keyword Insights, but it's growing really nicely. Lots of new features. We do have 3 or 4 more hidden away. But yeah, we started growing our software, and so now I guess we're a SaaS company to help with digital marketing.
I remember Saganthan coming to me on Twitter, and I can't remember when it was, but you were in like beta mode for Keyword Insights, and I had a play for like a week or something. And this was a good few years ago. And I remember thinking, this is bloody good. And that was just when it did everything in the background and spat out a CSV before it even did pivot tables and things like that. And I used it a couple of months ago for the OMG Center, and I'm like, mind-blowingly good. It really does make it. It makes a huge change to the way that you look at like keyword research and stuff. From my perspective, at the very least, I'm sure for agencies, it's a huge time saver, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that was the goal. And we're trying to get out of this idea that it's just a clustering platform now. It's going to be like a full content marketing suite, and we've been trying to release version 3 for the last 2 months. But version 3 is coming this month, I've been told, but I was told that for the last 2 months. And then you'll see more. Then you'll see more than just clustering. I mean, it does have a bit more than clustering now, but it's going to be really, really good. We hope.
Are you suggesting that development has been delayed by developers? Because that is a newsflash right there.
I think I only have myself to blame. I kept pushing them for a date, and they said, we don't know. I kept pushing them. I need a date. I don't know. And then they gave me a date, and I just think they pulled it out of their, So maybe I blame myself for that one. But yeah.
Fair enough. So from an agency's perspective, what if I'm looking at my tool stack and I'm thinking, what the heck can Keyword Insights do that something else doesn't do, or what can it do better than the other things? What would you say that like it beats or does better than or is better for?
So it's a good question. So the clustering part which is what we're known for, is always better and more. I say better. It's it's different tools for different situations, but it was our mainstay. And so if you want keyword clustering, it does have more flexibility, let's say, than other tools. For example, SEMrush has just brought out their clustering, and we thought we'd lose a lot of people to that, but we haven't. And the reason being, SEMrush only allows you to do 2,000 keywords at a time, and only 10 of those projects a month. So we allow you to do 2.5 to 3 million keywords. So, I mean, we basically unlimited. So for our certainly more enterprise clients, the clustering makes sense. Yeah. SEMrush only clusters if they've got 2 URLs in common with another keyword, which I think is too loose to really. It's not enough to say, yeah, these 2 keywords should be captured on the same page. We actually give you the full flexibility. We'll let you choose from 2 all the way up to 10 based on what your niche is. Because if you're a smaller niche, you probably want to rein that in a bit. If you're a bigger niche, you want to maybe make bigger clusters. So there's more flexibility there. It's quicker. So that's a big thing. We scale up with however many keywords you've dumped in it. And then that's just the clustering part. And then we could compare ourselves with loads of other clustering tools. And it's all very much the same sort of comparisons. Normally, we're quicker, we allow you to do more, and we give you more flexibility in the settings. So they're normally the 3 arguments there for the clustering. The other part of it is we link a load of things together, I think, in a really nice workflow. There's certain tools out there that just add more and more tools onto their suite because they see another tool doing well and they just stick it on. They bolt it onto whatever they do. And it's not really thinking about the actual workflow. So Keyword Insights will never bring, we've talked about it, but we're pretty sure we'll never bring link data in, like our own link scoring metrics, like backlink, because it doesn't really fit our workflow. Our workflow is this. We help you find a load of keywords. We'll help you group them together to find the right pages. Then we're going to help you write great content. And then we're going to help you track that content and monitor it and improve it. There's no need for the link stuff to be in there, where some tools just start bolting on, there may be a link index and they add on clustering, but it doesn't really fit. It doesn't. Why? Just because clustering does well for that tool. So we've really thought about the workflow very carefully, and we want to make sure that workflow is followed. And actually, to be honest, that's what V3 is about. Hopefully, as you said, this comes out in a few weeks or months, whatever you said. At the moment, the keyword...
We can be as flexible as these devs. Don't you worry.
Okay, so a good example is we've got the keyword discovery part at the moment. So at the moment, our tool does keyword discovery, so keyword research, clustering, and then a content brief, which the clustering bit is great. The clustering bit is fantastic. The keyword discovery bit is not good at the moment. You would still normally need to do your keyword research in another tool like SEMrush or Ahrefs. The keyword discovery part is a big thing we've worked on for this V3 thing. We want to be a suitable alternative to do your keyword research. So if you don't need all the link stuff and all the other 500 different features SEMrush has, which you probably only use 2% of them, you can now use keyword insights for your keyword research. So that's a big thing we've worked on because we know how much that was lacking. So that's a big part. And then the content brief part, it was good for content briefs. But we found more and more people actually just didn't want a brief. They really, especially with ChatGPT, they really want an editor that they can write the whole article with, not just the headings and stuff. So we've done a lot of work on making a very good alternative to Jasper and tools like that. So we're working very hard on that thing.
Awesome.
And then we've got
that's a heck of a lot of good reasons for an agency to have a go, right?
Yeah, we brought our own spin to it. We're still very confident you shouldn't rely on just churning out AI data. So we've got a few hidden features in there that make it so that I will wait for the release, but that isn't like Jasper. That is bringing a new angle to it. So we worked very hard on that, and then we've got, true to our namesake, we've got some very we've got secret features that I can't. I know this isn't coming out till then. We've got some really super secret features that no other tool has at all. We want to be true to the word keyword insight. So we want to start giving you more information. This is a sneak preview, but more information on what the keywords across different platforms. So not just Google, but TikTok and Pinterest. We want to give you more insights into those platforms and how they're doing. That gives away a nice insight into where we're going, but doesn't tell you enough. I mean, I know imaginations are probably running wild, or you think you know what we're doing, but you won't. It's quite cool, but we're going down that avenue as well. That's how we think we can help agencies. We know that there's lacking parts of the tool at the moment, especially at the keyword discovery stage and the briefing one. We're fixing them and bringing more. But the clustering is always why you would come to us at the moment, because like I said, there's more flexibility, speeder, more keywords.
Hey, voiceover guy here. Me again. Minty Digital increased its net profits by 54% within 6 months with the OMG Accelerator program. Check out omg.center/info. Sorry, Chris. Keep going.
Jesus, a bit rude. Right. I was about to ask you a really, really important question. What is the thing that you love most about working with agencies versus any other user of Keyword Insights?
So agencies bring... So we always offer like help to use Keyword Insights. So it's like... because Saganth and I are so wedded to it, we really want people to get the most out of it. And to be honest, this is another problem with Keyword Insights. It's not enough case studies. Or I went into a massive global agency the other day to showcase V3, what was coming up. And I showed them, at the end of it, I just showed them some case studies of how we use Keyword Insights. And even doing that, like, blew their mind about different ways. It's not just clustering, it's why we've used the clustering. Because there's a lot more creative ways you can use it than you just think. Anyway, coming back to your question there, working with agencies gives us, we always say, like, reach out to us if you want some help in understanding it or if you want some ways to use it. And some of the agencies' problems are so much more, well, they have to be more creative and more varied than, because our tool's also used by loads of in-house teams. And in-house teams don't seem to need that same creativity or diversity in what they're trying to achieve with it. So working with agencies really keeps us on our toes in terms of developing either new features or working out how we could use the tool in different ways, because they come to us and, hey, we've got this problem, can this be solved using Keyword Insights or using the clustering or using this? And we go, oh, yeah, actually, if you thought about using it this way, we'll make a little tweak to the report, but then that'll give you that information. And so that's why we love working with agencies. They keep the tool fresh, if that makes sense.
That's. I mean, and there's so much change happening in agencies all the time, and agencies essentially in-house is just as hard from an SEO point of view usually, but in agencies you could be out on your ear in 5 minutes with a client, so you've got to keep fresh, keep things moving, keep proving the value, and that usually means that, like you say, that creativity stuff happens a lot more frequently. I don't know about you, but when I was running the agency, I was coming up with a new idea every week about something or other, and quite a lot of that is now, thankfully, because technology exists a lot more easily to build things. I'm not saying Keyword Insights at all was easy to build, I'm sure, but it's a heck of a lot easier to build Keyword Insights now than it was probably 5 to 8 years ago, because of just development and structure and the available information, and quite a lot of these ideas now mean that, you know, someone on Twitter is probably going to say, hey, has anyone done an X? And you're going to go, new feature, that sounds great. So what, in your experience, do you find, like, you know, you've run an agency, you work with a lot of agencies, you see a lot on, you know, Twitter and LinkedIn and so on, and what do you think kind of sets the best out from the rest?
It's going to be a cheap answer because it's just following on from my last one, I guess, but creativity is a big one. It's sort of, even looking at our own agency, we had clients come to us, and we're a very small agency, 5-6 person team. We had agencies come to us because in-house teams who already had all the agencies set up. They came to us when they wanted a different like angle or something, like a different way of doing it, a new idea. And so I know there's a market in just, being more creative than others. And it's such I guess it's quite a broad word, but we've worked with agencies, like I said, come back to the keyword insights. We've worked with agencies who've gone, oh, this is how we've used keyword. They came up with case studies for us. This is how we've used keyword insights to achieve this. And they think, oh, actually, that's really bloody clever. Yeah, so creativity. It's a bit of a cheap one, but
I get it, and I used to do this with the agency all the time, and it was coming up with new ways to use tools that had different reasons than their original purpose. So
yeah,
like for example, if I was running an agency right now, keyword insights is not just from a clustering and a hub and the spoke and all the bits around that. It's a really good way of explaining to a client why the content strategy is what it is. So they don't go, yeah, but we'd rather write it in this order, or we'd rather not have that content. You can show them visually. This cluster of keywords is really, really high volume, really, really, say, easy, not really easy, but easy comparatively. And there's a massive gap here. And you've got this other content which can point across to it. This is where we start, and you can show them that. And if they understand a table, then it's not that complicated to get the point across. That's very different to using it for research and using it for insights. That's like literally using the insights to provide information to a client. And like that's what I would be doing with it, as a separate use case, should we say?
Yeah, and there's so we give you the intent of a keyword, right? Because how we do it is we scrape Google for that keyword you put into it, and we use our own algorithm. We work out the intent of that keyword. So you upload 1,000 keywords, and we'll give you the intent for informational, transactional. We had a client use us and go, oh, is there any way? I don't want to upload keywords. I want to upload the URLs and get the intent for that. So you can append. So you can append a URL with site. So site : URL. We just uploaded the 1,000 of them with all the different URLs, and we scraped them and told them the intent of each one. Things like that, and using it slightly differently.
I like that.
Use it for keyword cannibalization study. We cut a website from 50 million URLs to 15 million URLs using the clustering feature to group similar pages. There's loads of these creative ways you can use it, and working with agencies that are very creative. So I guess if I needed to hone that in to not be so broad, it's agencies that don't just template everything. We've seen pitches before, and I've come from an agency side, and I've seen this pitches before that are always, we will tech audit, content audit, link building, and it's just so structured. And then I've seen other proposals which are a lot more creative and a lot more zoned into whatever that client needed, and those were the ones that particularly stood out for me.
And then conversely, then to the templating and the creativity aspect, like something I've had to say a few times with the agencies that the OMG Centre works with, it's we've always done it this way isn't the right answer, especially in this industry. And I always used to if I was at an agency that had a whiteboard, draw a tombstone on the whiteboard and just write, here lies agency name, whatever the start date to that year, and just write underneath it, we've always done it this way, and then leave it there. And every single time someone says, yeah, but we've always done it this way, point at that. And there's an agency which sent me, it was like 3 or 4 days ago, sent me a WhatsApp that says, it's been 2 years and it's still on the whiteboard. We won't remove it because anytime anyone says it, we point at that and we remind them that it's a good idea to be creative and innovate. And it was a sea change for them. But it was the best agencies have to look differently at the same thing over and over again. You might not change everything. You might not change a little bit, but sometimes you've got to look at it and go, is there a different angle to this? Andy, so let's say your V3's out. Your CTO is sitting there twiddling his thumbs, and he gets a bit bored, and he decides to develop a magic wand. And the magic wand actually gets built relatively quickly as well, just in time for you to use it on this podcast, actually. What one thing would you use that magic wand for to change in all agencies at the same time?
I think it would, going on again about this theme of creativity, if I follow the theme,
Follow the
I
thread.
think it would be to follow the thread. It would be to abandon the phrase, we're just an extension of your team, and come up with come up with a more creative. In fact, I'm worried that was actually still on our old website. Let me check. But no, it's not. We got rid of it. To come up with a more creative USP. Well, it's not even a USP anymore. It's a broad, sell. Everyone says the same thing. So come up with offer something more beyond being an extension, offering something more beyond being just an extension of their team, because it's not a USP anymore, and it's
830,000 results on Google for "we are an extension of your team."
Was it? Did you just do it? Genuinely, we are an
almost
extension.
all the first few of them are agencies, and then several of them are like people making jokes about it. So if you've got that on your website and you're listening to it right now, have a think about it, because you are not an extension of someone's team. You are a service provider. You have a good relationship with your client. Clients don't care because they're not going to nip across to your desk and ask you questions. If you're an extension of someone's team, why aren't you in their meetings internally? Things like that. So get rid of it. Also, I did this. I hate it. But this is the reason that the podcast is called And We Have an Office Dog. If you have a dog in your office, lovely, great. But it isn't a perk. And also, they are not your chief biscuit officer or your chief morale officer. They are lovely to have in the office. You can put them on the website for obviously nice reasons. But like someone at some point came up with the chief morale officer or the chief biscuit officer, but it's not unique. It's not as creative as you might feel. Thanks so much.
Neither's whopping a pool table in there.
Oh yeah.
Like or a football
table, etc. I was in an office the other day, and they've got a really long board table, and it's like a really nice office, like relatively cool setup and everything. They got a really long board table, like it's almost like it looks like reclaimed wood. It's very fancy and everything like that. And it's like there's only 7 of you, but you could fit like 30 around this table. It's like, why have you got this massive table? And it's like beer pong.
Yes.
So typical agency stuff, but still looks bloody good. Andy, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. It's been great to talk to you all about keyword insights and creativity, mate.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, Chris. And speak soon.
And in our next episode, we're going to talk to an agency advisor, coach, mentor, or partner. So listen up and speak to you soon.